it will not talk about technical too much. And actually, normally when I go to the north, I will do like IPv6, RPKI to push those economies to develop more on IPv6 or RPKI adoption. But this year I was told not to say RPKI, that's why I will say something non-technical. Okay, so this would be a presentation about the history of Cambodia development. And I am Makito. Let me switch to my introduction slide. Yes, I am Makito. I am the only guy who have 3 badges here. Actually, I should have one more as a program committee, but I worry other people will think I'm crazy, so only 3. Okay, and some people found they are quite confused when they see me. Just I'm from Cambodia, I look like Chinese, I have a Japanese name, and I live in Australia. So it takes me some time to do some introduction. Anyway, I am the network analyst and technical trainer from APNIC, and these are my background, like work experience, certificates, and areas of interest. If any of you would like to contact me, feel free to email me or add me in LinkedIn. Okay, so let's start our topic. First of all, let's start to talk about the beginning of the internet in Cambodia. Cambodia actually started to have the first internet service provider in 1997. May 1997, Camnet was established. And in the same year also, there is another provider, which currently known as Online, previously called BigPond, and invested by Telstra from Australia. They are the first commercial internet service provider in Cambodia. Because Camnet is government, that's why Online is the first commercial one. And later on, there was Telesa. They are together with Telca. At the time, the technology was pretty bad. As you can see, we were using like dial-up, 28.8 kbps, and if you are lucky, you will get 56 kbps, and it requires a telephone line, which most of the families in Cambodia did not have at the time. And of course, there was list line, but I will show you the price in the next few slides. The price was crazy, and I'm sure most of the people could not afford it. Yeah, it was very expensive at the time. So this is the internet prices in 1998. With the Camnet dial-up full access, you need to pay $50 for registration, and then you need to pay $40 per month to use the internet for 6 hours. So it means that after 6 hours, you need to pay extra, yes, and $6 per hour. So you have to be pretty rich to use the internet. And besides Camnet, you can see like BigPond, which is online currently. At the time, there are other plans also quite similar. You need to pay like $60 for registration, monthly fee $60, and you can use for 6 hours, and $8 per hour additional. And yes, if you want unlimited, you have. It is list line, 9.6 kbps list line with $1,200 monthly fee. And don't forget about that, at the time, Cambodia's GDP per capita was only 267.4 US dollar. So it means at the time, Cambodian people earn, in average, of course, in the country, there will be people earn $1 million, there will be people earn anything. In average, it was $267. So it means that I need to work for 5 years to get 1 month lease line internet. This is back in 1990s. And next, finally, we welcome 2000. Then the internet usage began to grow, and we started to have the technology like digital subscriber line or DSL. Some of you who are old enough, you might have the DSL internet at your home at the time. And yes, it requires a telephone line. And again, many families, they did not have telephone line at the time. Also, bandwidth prices were still high. It was like $700 for 64 kbps and $4,100 for 512. $6,400 for 1 megabit. So mainly non-business users, they can only access internet at the internet cafe because it's too expensive to install internet at home, and many people they don't have a phone line anyway. That's why I was one of the non-business users that frequently went to the internet cafe and pay like 50 cents or $1 per hour to get the internet, and the speed was terrible. You can imagine, like, at the time Google was not popular yet. We mainly used Yahoo. You open Yahoo and then you need to wait like 3 minutes to load a page. Yeah, that was the case at the time. Next, this is the price in 2003 for dial-up. Dial-up is 56K. Monthly fee is better, $15. And then the extra hour became $2.4. So it's cheaper. And for online DSL at the time, you can get 128K with 199, and it has 1,500 free megabytes. So it means that if you use more than 1,000 megabytes, you need to pay, and extra fee is 10 cents per extra megabyte. This was quite common back in early 2000. Many ISPs they were doing like this with a limited data usage. Want unlimited? Yes, you have unlimited, which is here. You can have 64K with $700, or from online, it is not unlimited. 350 with 1,000 megabyte and 10 cents per extra megabyte. Then next, in mid 2000s, we have a few more ISPs. They joined the market. We have OnGoNet, we have CityLink, we have online, and then DSL technologies also still the mainstream. But at the time, some providers like OnGoNet, CityLink, online, they start to offer with WiMAX, which is the wireless technology that you install a small modem at home, you can get the internet. At the time, the main uplinks were mainly through Vietnam, through the cross-border connection. And for internet exchange point or IXP at the time did not exist. So basically at the time, ISPs they don't peer to each other. The traffic will go international and come back. Then for domestic traffic, it was very high latency at the time. And at the time also the major content, cache, and DNS root servers were not widely available. So we did not have many like the root DNS servers or Google cache or Facebook cache. No, many servers were at the neighbor countries, and then we need to get international route to go to those servers. Probably one of the good things at the time, IPv6 was not needed because we did not have so many internet users. So customers were typically assigned the public IPv4 address for their internet. Yeah, you can get public IP. At my home, even I use the DSL, I also can get public IP. This is quite general at the time for most of the ISPs. And many internet packages were data usage limit, were with the data usage limit, for example, like online. At the time, $99 for 128K, you have 800 megabytes, and then you need to pay 8 to 10 cents per extra megabyte. And some providers, they actually did a promotion, like they offer the packages with a dual pricing. They offer off-peak hours with a cheaper price. For example, nighttime, weekend, holiday, if you use the data, it will be cheaper. And during the peak time will be more expensive or more restrictive. Internet with unlimited data allowance was still costly until 2006. As you can see here, CAMNet 64K this line 350, and then CityLink 64K ADSL 215.95. I guess they will add EAD after that. And then online was like 219, and YCAM was like 199. Still, for 64K, you need to pay more than $200. Okay, so we continue to the late 2000. What happened? The new players came to the market, especially they came with the new technology, fiber to the home or FTTH. Some of the providers that you know now mainly came at the time, like EasyCom, MakeHomeNet, Medphone, NeoCom, or SINet. And some ISPs at the time, they tend to hide their price due to competition. They don't transparently list the price on the website anymore. I worked in the ISP and then I needed to go with my sales colleague to go and try to research the price from competitor. We needed to pretend to be a customer to get the price because they were hiding the price. And at the time, although there was fiber to the home technology, but most of the household users still remain on DSL. Because still fiber was expensive at the time. And yeah, Cambodia Network Exchange, CMX, established in 2008. Currently, they are the biggest IXP in Cambodia. At the time, uplinks were mainly through Vietnam and Thailand through the cross-border link. And again, until late 2000, no one really cared about IPv6. Yeah, because we have enough IPv4 to use. So we did not care about IPv6. Then history moved on to 2010. More ISP joined. You see DG, OpenNet, Singlink. Yeah, although some of them already merged by other people now. ISPs finally they appear with each other domestically. And more local content cache, more DNS root servers are available. Bandwidth prices also became more affordable. ISPs were offering dual bandwidth packages at the time because they started to peer with each other. So they started to have some domestic traffic which is cheaper. That's why they are offering like, for example, 2 megabits internet and then you have 10 megabits local bandwidth. No matter you use it for browsing YouTube or playing the games or going to another ISP. This was quite common at the time. There was some discussion about IPv6 and some networks started to deploy IPv6 at the time. But they did not offer to customers, mainly within the core network or server farm. So when customers increased, they started to use like carrier grade NAT or CGN to do the NATing. Then starting from early 2010, the ISPs started to change the IP of customers from public IP become private IP. And for the people who need public IP, yes, you can pay for it. They will sell you a public IP. And what makes me remember very well was at the time there was a submarine cable called AAG, Asia America Gateway. It was a submarine cable that used by major providers, but this submarine cable often experienced the outage. It had a good latency to Hong Kong, around 30 milliseconds, which was helpful for my online game playing because I play some online game in the server in Hong Kong and Taiwan. It was good latency for me. But this submarine cable was not very stable, and when the submarine cable went down, the traffic fell over to the landlines, then latency became higher. I think on YouTube, if you go and search AAG submarine, you might see a video, someone posting that there is a shark biting the submarine cable. There some people were joking that the outage was because of the shark. This is the price in 2013. For household, you can see we can pay, the cheapest one would be $12. Yeah, it's more reasonable in 2013. Still, some provider they sell with higher price. Probably their service was more premium. And for corporate, 1 megabit from EasyCom was 139. For MakeHomeNet, 85. For OpenNet, $65 for 2 megabits at the time. Then we continue to move on to late 2010s. Around 2017, 18, 19 at the time, casino customers were the key focus for the dedicated internet access service. Why? Because they have money, right? They will pay a lot for the China bandwidth. So we love casinos. So that's why many ISPs they actually they change their business plan to follow the requirement of the casino because they can make more profits from the casino. Even some casino specialized ISPs established. I mean, those ISPs, they are not nationwide. Maybe they were in like Seattle, Pipeline. Mainly they provide the service to the casinos. And yeah, you might see in my slide. At the time, DDoS, distributed denial of service issues were common challenges for ISPs. Even my client told me that when the network is being DDoS, their phones are being DDoS at the same time. Because when the network being DDoS, their customer will DDoS to them, will call them and then you need to fix the problem, otherwise I will a lot of words. Okay. So their phones also being DDoS at the same time when their network being DDoS. Then later on, more ISPs, they prefer to get the household customers to pay yearly instead of monthly, and then they offer the promotion discount. Yeah, it's good to get money for 1 year instead of month by month, right? Because sometimes customers they don't pay money on time, so it's better to let them pay in advance. And there was still limited progress in late 2010 about IPv6. No matter how many IPv6 workshops they did, in the past 20 years, they have been promoting IPv6, but we got little progress in Cambodia. We got only 0.15% IPv6. Hopefully this will improve. And IP listing also became common because IPv4 gradually exhausted. So the ISPs, they rent the IP from the IP providers from overseas. But the bad thing of IP listing is typically those providers, they do not create the ROA for the prefixes. So it means that when you rent the prefix, if they don't create ROA, you might have the risk of your prefix being hijacked by other people. It's not good in terms of security. At the time, many ISPs survived with CGN plus IP listing, and they believe that this will last forever. Okay, so how about the current situation? Some ISPs ceased the operation because their license being revoked with different reasons, and some ISPs they were acquired or merged by others. For example, DG and OpenNet they became part of EasyCom. Currently, it's much better than 10 or 20 years ago. Vast majority of ISPs they participated in domestic peering. 43 peers with 40 gigs peak traffic at CNX. This is from CNX website, okay? And bandwidth prices are no longer expensive because currently I can get like $60 per month for 100 megabits fiber to the home. I mean upload and download equal with the yearly payment, of course, because they don't want me to pay monthly. When I pay monthly, they need to issue the invoice 12 times to me. They need to worry that I don't pay on time 12 times a year. So yearly is better for the ISP. And ISPs are still expanding the IPv4 life with IP leasing, IP purchase. Yes, some people who have money, they bought the IP. Although it was like $40 to $60, but they bought the IP. And yes, they also spend a lot of money to buy the CGN firewall, the firewall to do the NAT. Although those firewalls are expensive, but they don't want to move to IPv6. Currently, non-ISP networks are aware of the benefit of provider-independent address space, and they also apply for own resources. For example, government agencies, we have the tax office, we have some ministry, banks, we have like ACLITA, ABA, they are APNIC members, and microfinance, universities, we have like RUPP, they are APNIC members, then they start to apply for the address from APNIC to route the network, and many more enterprises. The benefit is when you get the IP from APNIC, you don't need to worry that your IP will change when you change the provider. If you are unhappy with your service provider, just find a new one and say goodbye with them. You don't need to do migration to the infrastructure. Otherwise, if you are using your provider's IP, especially banks, you will be very, very troublesome because you need to renumber all the IP addresses. And yes, as Anna presented earlier, ISPs are encouraged to refer their customers to apply for the internet resources rather than leasing IP and assigning to customers. Because for ISPs, you can reduce the cost on this. You just let your customer have their own IP. But some ISPs, they might think, if my customer have the IP, what if they run away from me? I cannot lock them with the IP, right? Just try to do the good service, then your customer will never run away. If your service is not good, even you lock them with the IP, one day they will run away. And according to the list of active telecommunication operators from TRC, the telecommunication regulator of Cambodia, in July 2024, currently in Cambodia, last mile providers are limited to 5. It means that these 5 companies, they can make a fiber. And then 2 providers are allowed to do the cross-border connection. These 2 providers, they can cross the border to another country. But as of now, Cambodian networks are still free to peer with foreign networks. So it means that if you don't run the cable crossing the border, you just get the cable from someone else and then you just do the peering with international providers, no matter Hurricane Electric, MTT, Singtel, whoever, you don't need additional permission on that just for peering. This is not the same case as Myanmar, because in Myanmar, even peering you need an international gateway license. They were stricter than Cambodia, which is not good in my opinion, because peering should be free, but it makes sense if government want to limit the cross-border cable. They should limit based on the cable operators, not the peering. And the plan of national internet gateway is on the way, but there were many questions on that. When we implement the national internet gateway, how is the service level agreement? Who will operate it? If it is operated by government, how is the SLA? Do they work on Saturday and Sunday? Can we go to the data center at night time? And how about path diversity? If we have only national internet gateway, it means everyone will be under the internet gateway. So we will have the same path going to international. Then when you have high latency, how should you optimize it? How about single point of failure? Maybe someone, they want to bring down the entire nation's internet. Someone just hate Cambodia a lot and they want to make our internet not working. So they can do a lot of DDoS to that single national internet gateway, then all of us, we will suffer from outage. This is single point of failure. And how about free market competition? When you have one gateway, it means that everyone will have to buy from this gateway. What if this guy is crazy? He is selling with very expensive price and we have no choice then how to do. And how about financial impact to existing transit providers? For those people who are selling transit currently, if finally they will need to get from national internet gateway, everyone have to get from national internet gateway, then they will lose the profit. Then of course, they will have the concern on this. So this is still a discussion on the way, although there is a plan. Okay, so currently IPv6 still does not exist. 0.13, not even 0.15 that I said. In Southeast Asia, we are the, I think, lowest adoption on IPv6. And at APNIC already promoted for 20 years. So please, all the operators, please help us to increase your IPv6 adoption. At least allow some of your customers to use IPv6. Otherwise, it is very hard for us to claim our KPI, okay? Because we tried for 20 years and then when open the map, Cambodia is still 0. Then later on, when we want to do IPv6 training, then we don't have a reason to say anymore. Because our directors, they will say that you need a lot of training, but where is IPv6? It's 0. Yeah, please help us on this. Okay, IPv6. And if you want to see statistics, feel free to see in the statistics of everything lab. Then you can see how neighbor countries are doing very well, especially you can see Vietnam, Thailand, and Malaysia. They did very well for IPv6. Actually, many years ago, Vietnam was similar to us, almost zero in IPv6, but now they are really doing well. ROA. I said I was told not to say up here, so I will not say a lot. ROA is around 90%, which is good. At least we are quite high in terms of ROA coverage. But the next one, ROV. Again, another thing that does not exist currently. So what we need to do next is ROV. The ISPs should start to implement the validation. Because currently most of Cambodian prefixes, at least you can see 90% of Cambodian prefixes, we have the authorization signature. But if you only have the signature and then no one verifies the signature, then this signature is basically useless. Because the reason why we need to verify, we need to check whether someone pretend to be your prefix or not, someone try to hijack the prefix or not. So if no one is checking, even you sign the prefix, then still you will accept the hijack prefix in your network. Okay, then after the history and current situation, let me share some statistics. This one I extract from the online report. This is the overview of the Cambodian internet statistics. Currently, we have 70 million people in the country. We have 24.65 million cell phone connection, and we have 9.66 million internet users. And social media, we have 11.65 million social media users. If you would like to see more detail, the entire report, actually you can refer to the URL below. It has a very complete report and explanation. For the internet, currently it is like 56% of our population. And this is the statistic in the past 10 years. You can see we grow from 2 million to now 9 million. In terms of percentage, we grow from 14% to 56.7%. But since it is peaked at 56.7% for a few years, I think this is due to the population growth. Because the actual number is growing, but maybe we have more people compared to 4 years ago also. That's why the percentage remains the same, 56.7 for 3 years. For internet speed, mobile is like 25 megabits per download, 9 megabits per upload. This is the average. Of course, some people they might have 1 gig at home, but this is average. And for the fixed line, it is like 25, 26 megabits per second for download and upload. Device used. We have most of the users, every 3 people, we have 2 on the mobile phone and another person on the laptop or desktop computer, and small amount of user with the tablet and other devices. So what to expect in 2027? 2027, it will be the 30 years anniversary of Cambodia Internet. What should we do before that? And what will happen next? Actually, I'm just asking the question, I don't have the answer. Will our entire country go through a single gateway, security, path diversity, or will our IPv6 and ROV still zero when we reach to 30 years anniversary of our internet? What do you think? What do you want for our 30 years? Then you guys, all of you are the people who continue to write this story, because I don't have the answer for this. Let's wait and see. If you need help for general inquiries, let's say you need IT, go to Anna. If you need training, come to me. And if you need a technical discussion, we actually have a technical assistance platform. You can access and then book I don't want to use the word consultation, a discussion, because we are not competing SI, okay? I mean the system integrator. So you can book a session with our expert and discuss about your technical problem. We can provide some suggestions, then probably it may solve your problem. That's it for my presentation. Any question? 30 minutes, exactly. Good.
Do you have any questions you can ask?
Yeah, ask questions and also happy to answer those questions. Yeah, especially you guys from ISPs. Yes?
Makito, I think I have a longer history than yours. It started in 1994 when this NGO called Open Forum